Hey, you guys. Happy Monday for you, Sunday for me. I'm sitting in my car at Barnes & Noble watching back my mukbang that I'm trying to post. But YouTube is being so weird today. It's taking me like so long to upload my videos. So I don't know when I'm going to get it uploaded. And I did my hair and I went to some bookstores. And I ordered that Hunt a Killer box. You have 12 hours left. Well, by the time you see this, it'll be too late for this month. But 20% off, half price books. Don't miss anything. I was just there. There was nothing that I needed or wanted. Well, there's always lots of things I want at the bookstore. Like, Barnes & Noble is so interesting to me because I was just in Barnes & Noble. Like, literally. I was just in Barnes & Noble. Kiss my ass, Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble is like so pretty to go into. But their books are so expensive. And here's the other thing, is that like half the things I look for, I can't find. Even half the popular things I look for, I can't find. And it really bothers me because I feel like Barnes & Noble is just so like play into the bureaucracy of sales. And so like I was noticing in there like several books that I read last year that I literally thought were the worst books that I've ever read. And I know a lot of people liked this book, but one of them was E. Lockhart's We Were Liars. But I did not enjoy that book at all. I thought it was not good. And like she just came out with a deluxe edition specific for Barnes & Noble. I was like, really? And I don't know how she got this, but John Green, like he's the one that pumped this book because, you know, he wrote The Fault in Our Stars and all that kind of stuff. And he like there's some big quote, like there's, since it's come out, there's been this quote like, this is the best book I read this year or something, John Green. The other book on there that was so bad, it was one of the worst. I mean, I have read mysteries my entire life, and I have read so many good mysteries. And Ruth Ware, the woman in Cabin 10, she was, like, her book is in there. It's, like, one of the best books. I mean, it's, like, still, the book came out, like, last year. It's still on there as, like, Barnes & Noble's top picks. Like, when you go to, like, new bestsellers, it's, like, right there as top picks. One of the worst books I have literally ever read in my life. Like, the main character was not, like, anything interesting. The story wasn't really that interesting. The story really wasn't that great. They compared it to The Girl on the Train, which it was nothing like. And what was interesting was that Ruth Ware, who wrote this book, I got her other book, too, called Something in the Woods. When I did my review of it, like, literally every person was like, I hated the book too. And they're like, and don't read her second one because it's even worse than the first one. How is she up in Barnes & Noble getting all of this marketing when there are hundreds of thousands of authors out there that can't get their work noticed at all? Which is why on my BookTube channel, I really try to bring attention to authors that nobody's heard of. I mean, especially if their work, only if their work is really good and I think it's worth it. But I just think, like, you know, it's just that whole, like, bureaucracy of book sales. It really pisses me off. And then what was the other book in there? I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was all the missing girls. And it was this mystery that occurred. And then it just wasn't well developed. And then she just has a brand new book out. So they, of course, have both of them side by side, right? And then at the bottom of this whole rack, they had 2 copies of The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, which I just finished last night, and is hands down probably one of the most important novels of our time. And I thought, you've got this crap all over. I mean, Barnes & Noble, you're the only existing main bookseller around in the United States, and you're standing behind this crap that you have on your bookshelves, which is why I go to half-price books, because I feel like half-price books are diverse. I feel like they showcase books that need to be read. I could not believe that I went into this bookstore. Let me just tell you something else, too. Dumplin', which is by Julie Murphy, they're making it into a movie, which was I think it was my favorite book of 2015 on my book. I think I did that tag, and it was on my booktube channel. She has a book that just came out. Well, she's got 3 books. Side Effects May Vary is her second. I think that was her first book. Dumpling was her second. She just had a new book come out called Ramona Blue. I asked, they don't have it. What? Barnes & Noble is crap. I mean, it's so pretty to go in there and just like look around and stuff like that, but like, I'll tell you why I go in there. Is that if you have Goodreads, okay, so a little trick if you didn't know this. If you go into, if you have Goodreads, you can pull up Scanner, and then it'll scan your book. Do you see it's got little like magic scanner things there? I wish I had a book in here I would show you. Here, I have this. No, not that one, because that one probably won't show up. These are all like books that I bought at Goodwill. Okay, so this is Holiday Inn, the children's book. So let's see if it, are you ready? So you scan it, searching, and then see it pulls it up for you. Holiday Inn. Do you see that? And then you just add it to your want to read. And then it goes right into your want to read. Isn't that so great? And then you can do that with almost like any book. I bought this book called Stoner and Spaz. I got these at the Goodwill. So let's see if it'll do it with that. So here it is, you see? Here, I'll show you how it does it. Like, you guys can see it from the other side. Searching. Did it pull it up? I'm such an idiot when it comes to trying to figure out how to do this shit. See? There, it pulled it up, and then you add it to your want to read. How cool is that? That is so cool, isn't it? So that's the reason I go to Barnes & Noble. I never buy books. My husband's home. I was kind of wondering how he was going to get home from the race, because he went down there with our one friend, but like they were going to a different area than he was, and the track is so huge. The track is so huge. I was like, how is he going to get home? And he came home with, because he left his car at Melissa and Jason's this morning, so he didn't have to take his car down there. And then he came home with our 2 other friends, Brian and Jenny. They brought him home. Well, actually, Brian and Jenny's daughters drove down there and went and picked them all up because they'd been drinking. So, responsible drinking. If you're going to drink, you do it responsibly, right? He said he's going to shower and chill. My head is hurting me. It's like, I want to show you if you can see it. It's like, looks like it's going to like storm back there. Can you guys see it? You can't really see it, but... He's like, ask me what I'm doing. Might do a live stream. I kind of like my hair when it's a little bit longer. And then I have to go to my meeting tonight. I'm always like, what can I share on here? You know, like, I try to be really true to all of that. But like, it's my sponsor's birthday, and I think that's so exciting. It's really fun to see, like, Sobriety birthday. It's really cool to see people hit milestones of sobriety. You know, whether that's 30 days or 60 days or a year. I remember when I got my year token, and I was like, I cannot believe that I have done this. Like, I have made it through every holiday, every season, birthdays, everything for 1 year. Like, I really couldn't believe it. 2 breakups. it's highly suggested you do not get into a relationship for your first year of sobriety, and that you don't make any major life changes. I did both. I got in 2 relationships. How I'm still here is beyond me. It was the stupidest thing. I mean, that is the number one suggestion I always tell people: do not get in a relationship in your first year. Focus on yourself, take care of yourself. You don't have anything to give to somebody else unless you are, you know, doing better yourself. So, and I really wish I had listened to that suggestion, but at the same time, I think that it was really important for me that I was resistant and did what I want. But like, so I got in the first relationship right out of treatment. And then the second relationship I got into a week after he and I broke up. And that relationship lasted for like 5 or 6 weeks. That was the Todd guy. I've talked about him a lot on my channel because I found out that he had passed away. And then my sponsor said to me, he goes, okay, are you ready to do this my way now? Because I was like resistant and lying about being in a relationship. Like I wasn't even being honest about it. And then I was like, I was so like just a mess. And I was like, yeah, I'm ready to do it your way. He was like, okay, let's try it. He's like, I'm just going to make the suggestion. You do what you want to do. He's like, but why don't you try not getting in a relationship, not dating, no sex for a year? I was like, what? I was 22. I was like, no sex for a year. I can't even go on a date. He's like, I'm not going to tell you what to do. He was like, but this is my suggestion. And that was like the healthiest thing I could have done for myself. Because like after a month of it, like I really fought at first, right? Because like, you know, you sober your shit up, you think you look good, you're like, baby, I'm a package now, people want me, right? But then like after that first month, I like got some respect for myself, and I was like, you know what? Like I deserve to treat myself well and take care of myself for a little while. Like I deserve to do that. And you go through so many changes in sobriety, but especially that first year, you know, you really, really do. Like, do people ever totally surprise you by the cars they drive? This woman and her daughter, who her daughter is probably, I don't know, 25 or something, they just got into this, like, absolutely gorgeous, huge sport BMW. I would have totally guessed them from minivan. That's so funny. I think it's interesting when you guess people for what they would drive. But anyway, you go through so many changes, you know, and that's what I think is so cool about it. And, you know, I love being able to see somebody get sober and then watch them, especially their first year, when they get that year, you know, keychain or token, or just celebrate that first year of sobriety, and you're just like, man, and you can see it, like you can see it in their eyes, you know, and how they've changed. And I love the fighters, because I was a fighter, you know. I was like, fuck this place, this isn't for me, I don't want to be sober, I don't want to be here, my dad's forcing me to do this, the law's forcing me to do this, because I had a lot of legal problems. Fuck this, I don't want to be here. And then I was like, okay, like I can do this. I remember walking out of my meeting at 6 months, and I had never really done anything consistently in my life for 6 months, but I had never stayed sober for 6 months since I was 12 or 13. And I remember I got into my car, and I had just gotten a car because I totaled my car the night that I got sober, and I literally just like lost it and started bawling my eyes out, and I was just like I can just see myself in that parking lot right now, you know, like, I think like I was so happy, but I was so scared at the same time, because I was like, what does this mean for me then? You know, like, what is this, like, am I going to have to give everybody, I'd already given up everybody, but I was like, so what does this mean? Like, am I committed to this now? Because I don't think until that moment I really realized how committed to sobriety I was. I was just kind of putting one foot in front of the other and doing what people told me to do, you know, and that's really kind of the gig early on. Just do what people tell you to do. If you're wanting to drink or use, call somebody, you know? We want to complicate the hell out of this shit, and it's just not really that deep. I know people will say to me, like, oh, you make it sound so easy. I'm not saying that it's easy. It's not easy. You know, I remember my counselor said to me, this will be the hardest thing you ever do. But once you do it, nobody can take it away from you, and that's the truth, you know? So, yeah, it's a good life. But I think the main precepts, you know, compassion, empathy, love, understanding, tolerance, change, yearning to be a better person on a daily basis, trying to be the best version of myself that I can be, being forgiving, making amends, fixing things I've wronged. You know, I think all of that, you don't have to be an addict or an alcoholic to want to have those things in your life. You can use all of those things to improve yourself, and you don't have to have any kind of issues, you know? There were like 3 books that I did want to buy at Barnes & Noble, though. I was like, I'm not paying $20 when I know at half price books it'll be there in a week. Or Books A Million. I don't use Books A Million, but you can, like, there's so many websites where you can get books for really cheap. When I first started my booktube channel, I used to get sent a lot of books. People sent me books all the time, but that doesn't happen anymore. I don't know why. Probably because I got sent so many books that I couldn't even keep up with the books that people sent me at the time. Have you guys read V.E. Schwab? I do want to read her, Victoria Schwab. Her books today were like, some of them were in like the science fiction section, like the adult. I thought that was kind of strange that they were there. Anyway, I had Drunken Chicken from Yak's in Indianapolis. If you want to see a little local eatery, go watch that mukbang. And I had a piece of cookie butter pie, and I didn't finish it, and it's at home waiting for me, so I'm going to go eat that when I get home. And then I'm going to lay down and take a nap. I might do a live stream, but I don't know. All right, you guys, I love you. Bye. It's getting ready to pour down rain. My husband, who just got home from the race, is sitting there watching Scandal and eating pizza rolls. Look at all those pizza rolls. Are those pizza rolls good, babe? Maybe it's like the worst beggar in the world. I told you don't disturb him while he's watching TV. Okay, so I just want to show you this. So many people helped me on how to figure this out. So I have my tea in here. Probably too much, but I don't care. I wanted to show you. I mixed 2 kinds of tea together, actually. Here, we'll put this over here. I mixed 2 kinds of tea together. So I had forgotten that my friend Tanya gave me all these teas. So I took this one that's called Forever Nuts. I like opened it and I was like, oh my god, it smells so good. And if you look in here, it actually looks like there are nuts in there. Do you see? Can you see them? It's like it actually looks like there's nuts in this tea. And it smells like vanilla. I don't even know how it smells so good. And then my cousin Caroline had got me this Muse monthly box. It was like a book box and it came with tea every month. I mean, I never do my hair, so I should probably have my... So I use this one, which is Bourbon Street Vanilla. Okay, so everybody taught me how to do this. So you just put the tea in here and then you let it steep. Yeah, I put way too many of these things in. Oh, I almost close you guys out. But this one is called Bourbon Street Vanilla. New Mexico Tea Company. And it smells straight up like white wedding cake. So I mix those 2 together. So I love tea. This is gonna be really strong. I put too much in, but that's okay. So let me get a really, it's like pouring down rain. And I'm gonna go sit on the front porch, I'm so excited, and read. What mug should I use? I'm gonna use these big mugs. I love big mugs. And I'm gonna put 1 equal in it. I need to get some honey, like organic honey. And maybe a little almond milk. Because I think I'm going to try to start drinking tea instead of coffee. Babe, I think I'm going to start drinking tea instead of coffee. Okay. So, let's see how this works. It works! Oh my god. Oh my god, this is perfect. Honey, it worked. I got it to work perfectly. I'm gonna put some more water in there. So I can have another cup if I want. Because look, there's so much left. I put way too much in there. I knew I did, but that's why I wanted to mix two things together. So in case I want another cup. I have so much water left. So then we'll just let this sit over here and get warm. Do you guys want to see what it looks like? I mean, it's really dark because I'll kind of show it so you guys can see it. You see how dark it is? Boo Radley, Tucker. Hi guys. It's really dark. And it looks really hot too, but I want to try it so you can see. It literally tastes like liquid honey. Oh my god. You guys, that is so good. Oh my god, I should be a tea mixologist. I think I should be a tea mixologist. These two together are so good. Alex said go for it. Bourbon Street Vanilla and Forever Nuts. Is this one caffeine free? They're both caffeine free because I wanted to get it happen a little bit. Oh my god. Alright, you guys, will see you in a little bit. Hello! We're at the end of our night. It is 1:46 a.m. My husband just went to bed after watching 15 straight episodes of Scandal. I went to my meeting tonight while he napped. And then I came home and he was eating pizza rolls. I showed you guys that. Oh no. He ate the pizza rolls and then napped. And then I took him to get his car that he left at Melissa and Jason's this morning. And then he came home and went back to napping and got up and watched Scandal for like 4 hours. I did a YouNow stream. And then tomorrow, we are going to watch movies, which I'm excited about. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Don't you? Yeah! Get movies, watch movies. I wonder what movies we'll watch tomorrow. There's so many movies that I haven't seen that I want to see that I don't even know what they are anymore. And I have to be really honest with you, I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna get a snack here in a second, some potato chips or something, and I'm gonna sit in the parking lot, probably at Meijer, and watch a half an hour of that Strike a Pose on Netflix. That's the 20-year anniversary documentary about the dancers that Madonna had in the Blonde Ambition tour that were in the Truth or Dare documentary. I just really want to relax tomorrow, seriously. Sometimes I do the rant videos on a day that it's easy for me because I can do the rant videos in the car. And then I can just upload them when I come home, and I don't have to spend a bunch of time because the setup, to have the lights and everything at the house is fine on a Monday when Alex is at work, but to not have it up But to have it up on like a day that he's not working when he wants to watch TV and stuff like that is like really inconvenient. I mean, if we had like a 3-bedroom house where I had a guest bedroom and I could put all this stuff in there, like that's where I would just film in there and leave it up all the time, but we don't. And that's just the reality of our life. So, oh, I was gonna bring my water bottle and I didn't bring it. But you know, it is what it is. Alex has suggested that I clean up the basement and I film videos down there because we have a full basement that I need to film, I need to clean up. But then I could just keep the props and everything down there and it would be so easy. So that is like one of my goals this summer, is to clean up the basement and then like somehow, oh, there's a deer right there on the side of the road. Somehow like have it so that I can film. But I like filming where I film it. So many people have told me recently, like, change where you sit. I don't like you sitting in that chair. But like, I like sitting in that chair, you know? So I don't know, we'll see. I also do love though, like when I watch videos and people will have like a nice little like couch or chair and then they like have like the white background. Like I think that looks nice. Like I would like to have that. So, and like I've never shown my basement on the vlog because it is such a mess, but it's huge. I mean, it's runs the full length of our condo. So, I mean, it could be easily a second bedroom if we finished it off, laundry room, bathroom, and like a family room down there, but it's unfinished. So anyway. And then I came home from my meeting and I did my live stream, and then I was told Alex I want to listen. I started a new book on my Audible. I started because I finished The Hate You Give last night. I think I talked about that earlier. By Angie Thomas, 5 stars easily. I already talked about that. I started Sylvain Neuvel's Waking Gods, which is the sequel to his book from last year. Waking, I can't remember the book. Sleeping Giants. Sleeping Giants is book 1. And I don't know how many there's going to be. They call it the Themis trilogy or something, so maybe there's going to be 3 books in it. But like Goodreads does that a lot with books. Like even if there's just one book, they'll put it like in a trilogy. Like Outsiders, they'll call it like the Outsiders, like book 1 or whatever. Goodreads is weird how they do that sometimes. But so oh my Lord. You guys, I'm like thinking I'm seeing like animals and stuff on the side of the road. Did you see that? That I'm seeing like animals on the side of the road, animals on the side of the road. There were like 3 huge trash bags. I was like, oh my God, is that a bear? Like there's a bear on the side of the road in Indiana. I mean, now watch, I probably will really see a bear on the side of the road in Indiana. My life is so funny. But anyway, so yeah. A bear on the side of the road in Indiana. I saw a bear. There's my thumbnail. Did your eyes ever play tricks on you like that? Okay, so many people are reading Helter Skelter this summer because I've talked about it so much. Oh my God, you guys, it is such a great book. But I have to restart it because like I only got like 30 pages in, and I got so scared because I would read it at night and I literally could not read it on the front porch, you guys. I was terrified. And some woman said to me tonight in my live stream, she said, I'm reading it on my back porch with like the night lights. I was like, no, that's the wrong place to read it. You will be so scared, trust me. It is terrifying. The book is so scary. And it happened, you know, like that's what's so scary about it. But it is my goal to finish Helter Skelter this summer. And actually, I have 5 books to read that I want to finish this upcoming week. And they are Summer Days and Summer Nights, an anthology of short stories by edited by Stephanie Perkins. And then I want to finish Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is a reread for me. I want to finish the Great American Whatever by Tim Federal. I was so excited about this book. It is so bad. I can't even keep up with it. And then Tilt by Ellen Hopkins. Oh my God, I guess I have 6 books to read. There's another one in there. I just started 2 more. I mean, you guys, it's so bad. I have books like all over the house that I've started. Alex will always be like, he'll pick up a book and he'll be like, this was like on the stairs. Are you reading it? I was like, oh, I just started that. And I read like 5 pages outside. Yeah, I guess I started it. Like I start books constantly. You guys have no idea like how truly addicted to books I am. And I was thinking about this today, like with loving to read, like I love nothing more than getting really excited about getting into a book. Like I almost cannot even explain it to you. It's like the whole idea of just like, you don't know where the book is going to take you. You know, like I have had books that have changed my life. I have had stories that I literally couldn't put down before, you know, that like I stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning reading and just turning and just, you know, like have you ever been like that before? Where you just cannot put a book down? Or like a Netflix series is very much the same way, but I love Netflix series, but similar to that for me is reading books, because I love reading books. So to get into books, and like I haven't finished the Harry Potter series, and that's one of my goals this summer is to read the Harry Potter books. But you know, like that, I mean, I'm even excited about that, you know, and I have so many books that I haven't read that I'm so excited about reading that I think it's just a really cool thing, you know. Wouldn't it be crazy if I ended up like, because I was looking earlier, and I talked about this on my You Now stream too, so I set my goal, my Goodreads goal for this year at 100 books. I think last year I set it for 50 and I read like 62. So I was like, screw it, I'm going for 100. Well, I'm way behind. I've had like 1 and 2 book months. I mean, I'm at like book 16 right now. And I'm like, okay, so basically I have to read 11 or 12 books a month between now and the end of the year. That's a lot of books, you guys. I mean, that's like 3 or 4 books a week. 3 books a week. That's a lot of books. It's 1 audiobook and 2 other books, which means I can't be a lazy reader, but I don't want to be a lazy reader. I love reading. I love getting into books. It's like today, everywhere I went, Half Price Books, Barnes & Noble, everywhere I went, I kept on seeing that Illuminae, which is this young adult book that came out like a year or 2. Some people loved it, some people hated it, but like I got a free ARC copy of it, which is an advanced review copy, an ARC, A-R-C, advanced review copy. And like, I haven't even read it yet. And I'm like, it came out like 2 years ago and I want to read it so bad. I'm so excited. So, yeah. And new books come out all the time that I want to read, you know? I like my to read list on my Goodreads is so long, like seriously. But whatever. Whatever's clever. Whatever's clever. Bo, 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 bo. I'm like trying to think of the words and I can't think of the words. Bump and grind it. Greta Garbo, Anne Monroe, Dietrich and DiMaggio, Marlon Brando, Jimmy Dean, on the cover of Peter Monzine. Grace Kelly, Harlow Jean, picture of a beauty queen. Jean Kelly, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, Dance on Air. They had style, they had grace. Rita Hayworth gave good face. Lauren, Catherine, Lana too. Betty Davis, we love you. Ladies with attitude, fellas that were in the mood. Don't just stand there, let's get to it. Strike a pose, there's nothing to it. Vogue. That was pretty good, Peter, after 20 years. Damn. Strike a pose. Do you guys like Madonna? I mean, she's kind of gotten so phony, hasn't she? Like, let's just be for real. Like, I like the old Madonna. I mean, she was always kind of like phony, but like I liked her, you know? And like Gaga's so humble. Like, that's why, I mean, like Gaga is like, you know, there's something about Gaga that is like, so Hollywood, so cool, so on point. I love her music. I love her acting. I love her show. I mean, she is a show, you know? But at the same time, she's like this uber fan that like became what she idolized. And there's something so cool about that, about Lady Gaga. And like, I'm just such a huge Lady Gaga fan. And she's very humble about all of it, you know? Like, she talks about like meeting the people that she's loved for years and like how exciting that is for her. And that's totally, for me, like, not that I'm Lady Gaga and that's not the case, but that's totally how I feel about like YouTube. It's like when I talk to these YouTubers that are like 10 times bigger than me, I mean, I literally am like I get so excited, right? So it's very similar to that, but I'm not Gaga. I wish I was. But I do love her. Did you guys watch RuPaul's Drag Race when she came in there and she acted like she was the 14th queen and they all went crazy? That was awesome. I also love, and this is totally off the subject because it has nothing to do with Lady Gaga, but did you ever see that Adele when she dressed up as like a fake Adele and she was doing like the audition to be like the Adele impersonator and they all start crying? I love that so much. Little baby opossum on the side of the road. Man, the animals are out tonight. It's not even a full moon. It's raining outside. I used to want to write this book. I have this book. I should just talk about this on here. You know, like, I'm not into high fantasy, and I'm not much of a young adult fantasy reader. But, like, I had thought about writing this book. I'm kind of tempted to even not talk about it, but whatever. I'm copywriting this idea right now. See, copywriting. About this girl who, like, for some reason she used to go live with her grandmother. I can't remember why I had come up, like, I had like this really great genius idea of why she was going to live with her grandmother. Like, her mother had died at birth, and so she grew up with her dad, and her dad, like, only wanted her to see her grandmother, like, once a year or something. So anyway, then her dad, like, passed away, and she had to go live with her grandmother. She had no other living relatives. And so she goes to this, like, summer town, right? That's on this, like, on the edge of the ocean, or lake. It was gonna maybe be a lake, I think. And she stays with her grandmother. And, like, one night she wakes up and there's, like, these fierce thunderstorms. And she, like, looks out her window and she sees, like, her grandmother and these two old ladies, like, rowing out and, like, into the water. And she's like, what is going on? And, like, she just sits there and watches them, and then all of a sudden, like, with the lightning and everything disappears. And she kind of, like, falls asleep and doesn't know what's going on. Well, the next morning, she has, like, a vague memory of it. And her grandma was, like, making breakfast. And she's like, were you out on a boat last night? She's like, no, what are you talking about? So anyway, she sees this, like, 2 or 3 times. And, like, one night she goes and she, like, follows them and gets in a boat and goes out there. And they're, like, nowhere to be seen in the water. And then she gets, like, zapped underneath water. And, like, her grandmother and these other 2 old women are, like, the keepers of the water, like, on Earth. And they're, like, these like, supreme witches, although I wouldn't call them supremes because that's from Coven, from American Horror Story. And she's like the ultimate of all of them, and they've been, like, waiting for circumstances to bring her to them so that she can take over being in charge of, like, all of the water on Earth. And then, of course, there's, like, somebody that's in charge of, you know, earth, air, fire, water. Earth, air, yeah. That would be a pretty good, don't you think, series of books. I just wrote it right here, so you can't steal it from me. E, earth, air, fire, water. What would you call it? Waif? No. What do you call earth, air, fire, and water? That was what I would call the series. I just wrote the whole thing right here. don't know how my mind works like that. People all the time are like, how do you come up with books? I'm like, steal an idea. I don't really care. You won't write what I have in my mind anyway. 1, 2, I come up with ideas for books all the time. All the time. But there's something very bewitching about like animals coming out at night. Like whenever I see lots of animals, I always think it's like I know like Wiccans believe that, and I'm not Wiccan, but I do think that when animals come out, there's something, it feels very mystical. Do you guys ever feel that way? Like when like lots of animals are out, and we had rain earlier and it was like lightning all over the place, and I don't know. I like to think that way. It's kind of fun, you know? Makes the world more entertaining, I think. It's like, I think that's why so many adults love Harry Potter too, you know, is it makes us, I think that Harry Potter offers the opportunity for magic to still be, you know, real. Although, would you consider Harry Potter magical realism? I guess you would. No, not really. Do you guys know there's a whole series of literature called magical realism? But I wouldn't really consider it magical realism. I don't know what I would actually. But I think that the reason why people like the idea of, who's the woman that I love her? She wrote, they made it into a movie, and it was about witches, and it was with Nicole Kidman and not Hocus Pocus. God, I love Hocus Pocus though, but it was like more serious than that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I've read a lot of her stuff actually. She wrote a book about a mermaid too. She's a really famous writer. Why can't I think of her name? Please, somebody leave it in the comment section below, because I would look it up right now, but I'm driving. Did you guys ever see Witches of Eastwick? I loved that movie, and I loved that book. But that's not what I'm talking about. Oh, I almost just had a vision of it. Nicole. Damn it, come on, don't turn. Practical Magic, and I didn't even get to it. But who wrote Practical Magic? Book. Practical Magic book. Alice Hoffman. Ugh. Have you guys read Alice Hoffman? She's fantastic. I love her so much. If you've never read anything by Alice Hoffman, read her. She actually wrote one, I think it was called Waves, if you like books about mermaids. It was really, really good. And, but all of her books are good. Very, very good. And, you know, like there's romance in them, but they're also lots of times about, like, fantasy, like witches and stuff. But I can't explain it. More like modern day, like, that's just a piece. They would be magical realism. They're just a piece of what the, you know, the book is about. It's not about all of it, witchcraft and all of that kind of stuff. It's just a piece of who the characters are. And I love, and not all of her books are about that. So she's fantastic. Alice Hoffman, if you've never heard of her. Did not expect this to turn into a book talk tonight. But summer is for reading. I love to sit on the front porch and read. Well, alright, you guys. Let me get off here now. Ready for a new day. I'm gonna go to bed and sleep with my husband, curl up next to him and my little puppies. And, yeah. He's so excited. Alex is so excited that he gets to sleep in tomorrow. He's like, I didn't get to sleep in for the race. I get to sleep in tomorrow. I'm so excited because he had to work Saturday, and then tomorrow today he couldn't sleep in, so he gets to sleep in tomorrow. Anyway, all right, you guys, I love you. Did you take a risk today? Did you do something you've never done before? Even if it was just try a different kind of pancake, a different kind of ice cream. If you didn't, do it today. Try something different today, or tomorrow, or tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. Well, not always, but there's always tomorrow. Always and forever. No. There's always tomorrow until... we said this... there was this movie... I will say this really quick. There was this movie called 6 Weeks with Dudley Moore and Mary Tyler Moore. And it was about Mary Tyler Moore's daughter that had leukemia, and she was dying. And there was a scene when they were staying at the plaza in New York City over Christmas, and they do this fake wedding with Dudley Moore and Mary Tyler Moore. It's a very endearing scene, though. Like, it sounds funny when this little girl is marrying her mom and this guy that she's kind of dating, not really, because she likes them both together. And she's a dancer, the little girl, and she wants to play Clara in the Nutcracker. Movie is fantastic. It's called 6 Weeks. But she reads these lines to this wedding, and Alex and I used the lines in our wedding. And the lines are something to the effect of, I have to look it up and read it for you guys in another vlog, but the lines are something to the effect of, and we will love each other not forever, because there is no forever, but until we know no longer, or something like that. And it's beautiful, isn't it? To think that you'll love somebody until you don't know, and you don't have the concept, the capacity to love anymore. I think it's idealistic to think of in terms of forever. I'd like to think that way, but I think I don't know. So anyway, watch the movie 6 Weeks. Why did I turn it so sad at the end? Try some different kind of ice cream, damn it. Get a waffle cone. Get sparkles. Get sprinkles, sparkles. I'll have that glitter on my ice cream. Get sprinkles. I don't think I really care for sprinkles on my ice cream, do you? But I do love everything else. Oh, hot caramel. Damn, I want some ice cream now. I'm hungry. All right, you guys, I love you, and I hope you're having a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.